My name is Tula Meadows. I'm 28. At my own birthday dinner, in front of 43 people, candles still burning on my cake, my father looked me in the eye and said, "I wish you were never born." Nobody moved. My stepmother nodded like he'd confirmed the weather. My half-sister kept her phone recording my face. That was 4 months ago. I haven't raised my voice since. But I did something that made my father call me 17 times in one night. By the 18th call, he wasn't angry. He was begging. If this resonates, like and subscribe. Drop your city and time in comments. I read every one. 3 days before my birthday, I learned what that party was really for. You need to understand the Meadows family. My father, Gerald, is 58. Broad shoulders, deep voice, walks in expecting everyone to rearrange around him. No one questioned Gerald. Not once. My mother, Emily, died when I was 8. I felt it early, in every silence. He blamed me. It lived in what he didn't do. No school plays. No drawings on the fridge. When I got the flu in 4th grade, my grandmother Eleanor drove 40 minutes to get me. Not him. Eleanor was the only person who made me feel I had a right to exist. She called me my girl. She died 2 years ago. I still reach for my phone to call her. After Mom, Gerald remarried. Linda Holt brought Belle, her daughter, for years younger, instantly the favorite. I got the smallest room. Mom's photos came down. Linda's went up. For years ago, Gerald lost his job. He never looked for another. I was already a registered nurse. 12-hour shifts, exhaustion behind my eyes. When the first mortgage notice came, Gerald left it on the counter. Linda mentioned it at dinner. Someone should probably handle that. She looked at me. So I handled it. Mortgage, electric, water, taxes, insurance. $2,800 a month from my paycheck. Auto pay, so I wouldn't think about it. Temporary, I told myself. He didn't find work. Linda got comfortable. She found my credit card's supplementary card. Charges appeared. $300 coat for Belle. Then $1,200 for a designer bag, 3 weeks before my birthday. When I brought it up, Gerald said, "She's your sister, Tula." She wasn't, but I stopped correcting him. What kept me quiet was Eleanor's promise. In her final weeks, "Keep this family together, my girl. They'll fall apart without you." I believed her. Thought if I kept paying, kept showing up, eventually they'd see me. I was wrong. That $1,200 bag was the first crack. 3 nights before my birthday, I came home at 1 a.m. light bled from under the kitchen door. Voices low and deliberate. I stopped on the stairs. Held my breath. Linda's voice clear. We announce it at her birthday. 40 people. If she says no in front of everyone, she looks selfish. If she says yes, problem solved. Gerald, slower. And if she makes a scene, then you do what you should have done years ago. Pause. Cut her off. I pressed against the wall. My hands shook. They were talking about my savings. $52,000. 6 years of overtime, holiday shifts, skipped vacations. Belle was engaged. I didn't know until that moment. They wanted my money for her wedding. Not asked. Wanted. Planned. She owes this family, Linda said. It's time to collect. I backed up the stairs. My heart slammed. They didn't hear. I sat on my bed for 2 hours. Didn't cry. Stared at the ceiling. Something shifted. I didn't know what yet. Next morning, I called Margaret Calloway, 64, estate attorney. Eleanor's closest friend. She'd whispered the name once. If you ever need to understand what I've left behind, call Margaret. I'd written it on a grocery receipt, tucked it in my wallet. Untouched through 2 years of bills and silence. Margaret answered on the second ring. Tula Meadows. Your grandmother told me you'd call eventually. I need to know what she left. Come to my office. There are things she wanted you to know when you were ready. Pause. Are you ready? I think so. Scheduled for after the birthday dinner. Whatever was coming, I needed through Saturday first. That afternoon, Belle found me in the kitchen. Wiggled a diamond ring I'd never seen. You're going to help with my wedding, right? Dad says you have savings. She genuinely believed I existed to fund her life. That was worse. We'll talk later, I said. Let me tell you what $52,000 means as a nurse. 6 years of holiday shifts nobody wanted. Leftovers instead of going out. A car with 200,000 miles. That money was my way out. A down payment on my own place. If I gave it to Belle's wedding, I'd start from zero at 28. No safety net. No future. But it wasn't the money. It was the pattern. At 18, I won a full nursing scholarship. The letter came addressed to me. I never saw it. Found out 2 years later at a grocery store. Searched my father's desk. Found the opened envelope behind tax forms. He'd read it. Never told me. You weren't ready, he said. You would have failed. I paid my own way. Loans. Night shifts at a diner. Every time I built something, he took it. This time, I stopped handing him the hammer. 2 days before the party, Linda made calls. Same script to aunts and cousins. Tula's been so difficult. Gerald gives and gives. She just takes. Then Aunt Patricia called me. Honey, what's going on? Your dad says you've been giving them a hard time. I realized the trial had happened. The verdict was in. I hadn't been allowed to testify. The night before, I stood in the bathroom mirror. Dark circles from 56-hour weeks. This is what hollowed out slowly looks like, I thought. Not one event. 1,000 small ones. Linda's voice carried through the wall. She's always been jealous of Belle. Some kids just don't have it in them to be grateful. I pressed my ear to the wall. Gerald's given her everything. And she can't do this one thing for her sister. Honestly, I don't know what Emily would think. Emily. My mother's name in Linda's mouth, used as a weapon. I wanted to scream. But screaming was expected. What Linda had prepped 43 people to witness. I thought of Eleanor. Quiet strength, my girl. Let them shout. You just keep standing. So I picked a dress. And I stood. Saturday evening. Rossini's, Italian restaurant with exposed brick. Gerald booked the private room. 43 people. I wore my only nice dress. Navy blue. For once, I wanted to feel worth celebrating. White tablecloths. Candles. Banner, happy birthday, Tula. Chocolate cake, my favorite. For a moment, I believed it was real. Then I saw the seating. Main table under the banner. 5 chairs. Gerald at head. Linda right. Belle next. Derek, her fiancé, beside her. Empty seat for Gerald's friend. My place card? Smaller table near the kitchen door. At my own birthday dinner. I sat without a word. Quick hugs. But conversations drifted. Belle, show me that ring. When's the wedding? No one looked at me. The cake sat untouched. Candles unlit. Derek caught my eye once. Not pity. Recognition. He saw what was happening. Then Gerald stood. Tapped his glass. Picked up the microphone. Smiled. Tonight is special. Not just because of Tula's birthday. My chest tightened. We have a very exciting announcement. Turned to Belle. Face lit up. I understood. This party was never for me. Our beautiful Belle is engaged. Room erupted. Applause squeals. Belle rose. Diamond catching light. For 10 minutes, my birthday evaporated. Then the room settled. Gerald stayed standing. Now, he said, voice warmer. Turned to me. Tula, honey, come here. 43 people looked. I walked to the main table. Gerald put his hand on my shoulder. Performative. Family takes care of family. We need to talk about the wedding budget. Not private. Not later. Here. Now. Exactly as Linda planned. Tula has been very responsible, he addressed the room. She's been saving for years. I know she'll want to help her sister have the wedding she deserves. Squeezed. The pressure said, agree. I stood still. Linda leaned forward, dabbing her eye. Choreographed. It's what your mother would have wanted, Tula. Room went soft. Murmurs. Oh, Emily. My dead mother used to guilt me into writing a check before 43 witnesses. This is my birthday dinner, I said. Steady. Quiet. Can we not do this here? Gerald's smile thinned. Hand dropped. Another time. You always say another time. Never when it matters. Volume climbing. Commanding. I've given you a home. A family. 20 years of patience. And you can't do this one thing. Room held its breath. Aunt Patricia stared at her plate. Hannah gripped her water glass. Belle pulled out her phone. Red dot blinking. Recording. I looked at the dot. At Belle. Her hand trembled, almost lowered it. Didn't. Gerald stepped closer. Face red. Now, if you can't do this one thing, he didn't finish. I spoke first. I'm not giving away my savings, Dad. Voice didn't waver. That money is for my future. Room shifted. Gerald stopped. Jaw tightened. Something flat behind his eyes. Switch flipped. He stared. Then said it. I wish you were never born. Stated like a receipt line. Factual. Final. Room froze. Aunt Patricia set her fork down slowly. Linda looked at Gerald, then me. One small nod. Like she'd waited years for this. Belle's phone still pointed at my face. Hand shaking. Didn't lower it. Derek pushed his chair back. Recalculating. Something cracked in my chest. Like spring ice. Quiet. Deep. I looked at my father. At 43 people who heard and chose silence. I didn't cry. Picked up my napkin. Folded it once, twice. Set it by my untouched water. Thank you all for coming to my birthday. Picked up my bag. Walked across the room. Pushed through the door. Night air hit like cold water. Made it to my car before hands shook. Sat gripping the wheel. Then I called Margaret. I want to come in tomorrow. I'm ready. I'll have everything prepared, Tula. 9 a.m. Turned the key. Pulled out. Didn't look in the rearview mirror. Not once. 6:30 a.m. house silent. I'd packed. 1 suitcase, 1 duffel. Clothes. Nursing license. Photo of Eleanor and me at the county fair, age 11. Left everything else. At the kitchen table, opened my laptop. 15 minutes of quiet work. Transferred savings to new account. Canceled supplementary credit card. Confirmed lease on studio apartment 6 miles away. For 100 square feet. Mine. Placed 1 envelope on the counter. Inside, for years of bank statements. Every mortgage, insurance, utility, tax. Highlighted. Totaled. $134,000. All from my account. All for this house. Just numbers. Turned the knob. Stepped out. Pulled the door shut. Clicked. Soft. Final. Loaded the car. Drove east into Pinking Sky. Did not come back. If you've ever left a place you called home, not because you wanted to, but because you had no choice, type I understand in the comments. Here's what I learned later from Uncle Roy and Cousin Hannah. Sunday morning. Linda walked into the kitchen at 9. Noticed the envelope. Pushed it aside for coffee. Climbed stairs to tell me breakfast was ready. My room, empty. Closet cleared. Bed stripped. She called Gerald. She actually left. Gerald looked at bare room. Shrugged. Good. Let her sulk. She'll be back Friday. Belle woke. Opened banking app. Supplementary card. Declined. Frozen. My card's not working. Did Tula do something? She's throwing a tantrum. It'll pass. Linda found the envelope again. Set it down unopened. Probably some dramatic goodbye letter. By Monday, Gerald called 4 times. Voicemail. This is childish. Call me back. By Wednesday, silence from me. No texts, calls, emails returned. Envelope sat on counter. Time bomb. No one opened it. Day 5. Electric company, past due. Gerald called. Sorry, sir. Registered to Tula Meadows. Day 7. Bank letter. Mortgage overdue. Name on it, Tula E. Meadows. Gerald searched filing cabinet. Hadn't opened in years. No deed, no title with his name. Linda remembered the envelope. Tore it open. Pages. Dozens. For years of bank statements. $134,000. All from my account. She sat down. Didn't speak. Gerald stood behind her reading. Face gray. But they didn't know the worst part. The house had never been in Gerald's name. Not once. Gerald started narrating. His version. Tula walked out. Canceled card. Stopped paying bills. Punishing everyone. Some believed him. But some remembered Rossini's. Remembered the silence after. That no one had stood up. Cousin Hannah called. Tula, what's going on? Your dad says you're trying to punish them. Hannah, Did he tell you what he said at my birthday? Silence. I was there. I heard it. I just didn't know what to do. I know, I said. Nobody did. Gerald drove to Uncle Roy's house. Brother he hadn't spoken to in 2 years. Knocked. Need your help. Tula's gone off the deep end. Roy leaned against door frame. Gerald, did you really say that to her at her birthday? She provoked me. A father doesn't say that. Not to his child. Not ever. Closed the door. Found me Tuesday. Don't know how. Came home from shift to find Gerald outside my apartment door. You need to come home. This has gone far enough. You told me you wished I was never born. In front of 43 people. On my birthday. I was upset. You were being difficult. Saying no isn't difficult. It's adult. I'm your father. Then act like one. You can't just leave. Bills piling up. Mortgage late. Linda isn't my responsibility. Neither is Belle. Neither is the house. Pause. You wished I was never born. I'm simply granting your wish. Close the door gently. No slam. Soft click. His breathing on the other side. Then he left. 2 weeks after I left, Gerald called a family meeting. Community center. 30 people. Aunts, uncles, cousins. Launched into his version. Tula abandoned family. Cancelled card. Stopped paying bills. Hurting everyone. That's when Uncle Roy stood. Back row. Gerald, did you invite Margaret Calloway? Side door opened. Margaret stepped in. Gray blazer, portfolio underarm. Mr. Meadows, I'm here on behalf of your daughter. And your mother. Room went silent. 2 years before passing, Eleanor executed legal transfer of 412, Birchwood Lane to Tula Eleanor Meadows. Notarized. Recorded. Fully binding. Gerald stared. Impossible. That is my house. Your name has never been on the deed, Mr. Meadows. Your mother purchased 1987. She chose. Room erupted. Murmurs. She did, Roy said. I witnessed. Gerald stared at his brother. You knew. Mom asked me. Said you'd understand eventually. Said you probably wouldn't. Margaret unclipped more documents. Past 4 years, Tula personally paid full mortgage, insurance, taxes, utilities for this property. Spread statements. Total, $134,000. All from Tula's personal checking. Room sank. Silence. Aunt Patricia stood. Gerald, you stood in that restaurant, told that girl you wished her never born. The girl who paid for your roof. Hannah spoke, voice cracking. I called her. Accused her of selfish. She just asked if I knew what you said. Gerald tried regaining room. Family matter, Margaret. Think you should leave. Asked to present file. File presented. She walked out. Gerald looked around. 30 faces. Not one on his side. Linda grabbed Belle's wrist. We're leaving. Belle pulled free. No. First time I heard Belle refuse Linda anything. 2 days later, Margaret sent formal letter. 60-day notice to vacate. That night, Gerald called 17 times. 1 through 10, angry. You ungrateful, 11 through 15, desperation. We can talk. Is that what you want? 16, silence. 28 seconds. Hung up. 17, last one. Tula, please. Where are we supposed to go? Sat on bed edge. Played it twice. Didn't feel victory. Felt like setting down a bag carried 20 years. Realizing how badly shoulders ached. Saved it. Went to work. Patience needed me. 3 days later, Belle called. Crying. If we lose house, wedding, everything falling apart. Can you tell Margaret stop? Belle, did you watch video you recorded? Pointed phone at me while Dad said those words. Didn't put down. Didn't say stop. Just recorded. Silence. Didn't mean exactly the problem. You never mean anything. Things happen. You let them. Not doing this to punish you. Done being person who sacrifices everything so everyone comfortable. Long pause. Linda's voice in background, coaching. Belle, wish you well. But this conversation over. Not last call that week. Friday. Derek texted. Short. He and Belle postpone wedding. Need figure out what kind of family marrying into. Didn't reply. Not my story. 3 months later. My apartment, 400 square feet. Hot water, 90 seconds. Thin walls. Hear neighbors cat at 5 a.m. It's mine. Still work hospital. Still night shifts. But checking account, mine. Every dollar on my terms. Roy comes Sundays. Brings coffee. Sits couch. Don't talk Gerald much. Don't need to. Hannah became real friend. Texts recipes. Brought houseplant. For your new beginning. Sits windowsill next to Eleanor's photo. That photo, Eleanor and me, county fair, age 11, hangs across from bed. Next to it, nursing license, framed. 2 things earned. 2 things no one can take. Gerald sent Christmas card. No apology. Just my name on front, his handwriting, Tula. Practicing saying it without flinching. Not telling this so you feel sorry. Telling because maybe you're sitting somewhere in house you pay for but don't feel welcome. Next to people taking everything, calling it not enough. Staring at phone from someone who hurt you, wanting you pretend it didn't happen. I've been there. Know what that silence sounds like. Leaving wasn't revenge. Some will say I was cold. Should have tried harder, given another chance, another year, another $100,000 patience. But leaving was first time I chose myself. Warmest thing I've done. Don't need permission to protect your life. Don't need person who hurt you agree it was wrong before walking away. Sometimes just fold napkin, stand up, go. Grandmother taught me that. How she lived. Loved fiercely. Planned carefully. Saw something wrong, made move. Quiet strength. If this touched you, know you're not alone. Don't stay in room where no one sees you just because only room you've known. There are doors. Yours to open. Leaving was first time I chose myself. Make same choice again every time. If you stayed to end thank you. Think Gerald really changed or temporary regret. Type changed or temporary in comments. Read everyone. Want more stories? Check description. Another waiting.